Hello, everyone. What an honor to be here with all of you and to be with my dear friends and co-author Deena Margolin and my wonderful colleagues Gabby and Tatiana. I'm going to not mispronounce your last name. How do we say your last name? Because it's in Portuguese and I keep on practicing it, but I want to make sure we get it exactly right. So, Gabby, you want to say how to say your last name?
It's Guimarães.
Guimedes. Very good. Well, this is so exciting because Dina and I spent so much time thinking, how could we create something for people your age, Gabby? And we wrote a book together called NowMaps, and we have an incredible opportunity here where when I was teaching in Brazil, I met with your whole family and your friends at your house, and you presented a PowerPoint slide of your experience reading Now Map. So I quickly reached out to my wonderful colleague and co-author Dina and said, "Look what's going on." And to be here with the three of you to be able to share with everyone how this book reaches young people directly is a great opportunity. So, in a moment, Gabby, I'm going to show the slides you sent to me that are a different version from what I saw when I was in Sao Paulo with you. But just to get ready, and I'll ask you some questions that Dina and I can explore with you about how Maps was for you. But Dina, I just want to invite you to say some introductory things if you want, and then we'll have Gabby and Tatiana to share anything they want about their experience.
Yeah, I mean, creating this book and this resource with you, Dan, was just such a dream because I really feel like we're in a place right now where our teens, our tweens, they could really use the support. And it's just very exciting to be able to help young children really be able to look inside, understand who they are, and really build the tools to go through life because life has ups and downs. And we just want to be able to go through it with compassion and kindness. And that's a wonderful thing.
And to work with you, Dina, to make this happen is so exciting. And this moment, these tools, one of them, for example, is a pause button that you'll see. And we'll get into it now, Gabby, with you. I'm going to actually share the slides, but Gabby, if you want to just make some comments, this slideshow is an elaborated one over the one you showed me and presented to everyone in your home. Uh, and there's a lot we could talk about. We could spend probably 8 or 9 hours going over your one slideshow. So forgive us for needing to make this shorter just because of the way we're here together. But I'll show them and I'll just give a feeling. And anytime you see something you want to comment on, please do. And let's go through it. So here is the wonderful presentation by Gabby of your experience with Now Maps. So everyone can see that, right? It's up there now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No,
There it
no, it's
is.
not.
There it is. Excellent.
Awesome.
So this is about connections and real life situations. And let's see, it looks like to make the slides go, I actually need to go right here. So, okay. And now let's go back here. So these are the skills you can see, the pause button, the focus flashlight, and this idea of having a compass that allows you to navigate life's challenges. And here you just get a feeling for the different chapters. And Gabby, I don't know if you want to say anything about this first chapter, getting to know your feelings. And you could see what a wonderful stimulation this was for you to reflect on the different experiences and feelings that come up.
Yes, I really enjoyed making this slide. I mean, there are many slides in my presentation that are similar to that one, but that one I particularly enjoyed because it made me think like such small things can trigger such big feelings. And this was probably one of the first times that I actually thought about it and got the chance to write it and share it with all of you.
Great. And how was the book helpful or not so helpful? How was it helpful to you in getting to know your feelings?
It offered, as I read it, it offered different pathways to my past experiences, and I got the chance to investigate what it would be like if I followed these certain pathways and what would be the consequences. And I think that made me conscious about my actions throughout my life.
That's beautiful. And that consciousness really gives you choice. So here you can see, Gabby, you're writing out some of the ways you can look at being stressed out by interactions, the deep kinds of questions like what are feelings anyway, seeing how to actually check in with the body's sensations. This just gives you a few things. I love the thing of blending those feelings together and how to name those feelings so you can frame them and do something positive with them. I want to go over to the chapter on the body, this slide. How was it for you to get in touch with what your body was feeling and how to locate these, energy flow patterns inside different aspects of you?
I feel like it was very important, and it made me aware when I feel these feelings again. So I can not lash out and control my emotions because I know what they're trying to tell me. And I can always keep a lookout since I already have that chart telling me where I should keep an eye on when these certain things, sensations are happening.
That's beautiful. And here we can even see, just to look at the detail in this one slide, I tend to clench my jaw in a slight way. So it's very subtle sometimes when the anger I'm feeling may be too much or not that much, but whatever the case, I clench my jaw when I feel quiet resentment. So that's a really deep and important reflection. And here you can see you can write these different names down. And I think this is so great for Deena and for me to see this. And what we did in chapter 2 was talk about reaction style, and that we all have these different ways of reacting, to experiences that happen. And knowing those reaction styles, it can be helpful. And let's talk about the pause button, Gabby. I love that photograph of you, and I'm glad you.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So tell us about that, and try to describe, because you and I have spent really quite some time together when we were in Brazil together. But maybe you can describe to everyone and to Deena, what did the pause button? How was that for you to hear about it and to learn it was a skill you could develop?
Well, I think it was extremely important that you added the pause button in one of the steps to getting to know your feelings and all of that. Because in order to do all of these things, to actually greatly impact on what is your reaction, you need to pause and think about them. Because it takes a while before they come in naturally, and the pause button gives a chance to actually stop and think before doing something.
Exactly. And yeah, go ahead, Deena.
No, the pause button is awesome because so many things are happening inside of us, around us all the time. And while we can't always control what's happening around us, we do have the ability to monitor and manage what we respond with. And that pause button is so crucial to being able to stop, and instead of reacting, we can respond. And what an amazing skill, Gabby, that you're already building, that so many adults are still trying to practice today. It's incredible.
It's so true. And, by making it a fun thing like a pause button, and there you can see the button, it really gives you a visual to say, oh, yeah, this is a skill I have. And I can see the difference between reacting automatically, or as you're saying, responding thoughtfully. And these examples where you have a choice, right? And so we give.
It's dripping because I just filled it. It's like on the edge.
Can you guys hear Gabby's recording there?
Yes.
It's just dripping because of that. I'm recording this because if this falls, it's gonna be super funny. And well,
there you go. You're controlling. So can you tell us what it was like to learn this water challenge game?
Huge.
Well, I couldn't keep my eyes off of the cup, and it was kind of embarrassing, like all of my sensations into not dropping a single water on the floor. And well, my arm hurt a lot after that, and I felt relieved when I was gonna take the water off. Like I felt like I had accomplished something, even though it was very, very small.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
And for those who haven't read the book yet, we wanted the book to be fun. We wanted it to be experiential. So throughout the book, you'll find these little challenges, these little games that will help you actually practice and build skills in real life in a fun way, like this one.
That's so great. And it's so fun to see you doing that, Gabby. And,
Yeah.
we have, a limited time. So I'll just say we have a focused flashlight where, again, you have a visual skill that you're learning that you can focus on the things that you need to learn so that ultimately, when you realize, hey, I can focus on particular things that before were unclear, then you can use your pause button. You can regulate that way. You can ask the question, am I okay or am I not okay? Am I in a flow that's harmonious, or am I getting kind of to the edge of not functioning so well? Or am I really, in a dysregulated state is formerly what we call, but where I'm flipping my lid. I can't really function well. And Gabby, what was this like to learn that you actually can develop this okay monitor? What was that like for you?
Well, it's great to know that you are currently in your okay monitor, and the almost not okay and the not okay might not be as great as feeling the okay monitor, but it's good to put in, how do I say it?
Sentences, items.
No, it's good to put limits on things and know that, like, if I pass this limit, I'm currently on the almost not okay monitor, or if I pass this other limit, I'm getting to the not okay part. And um if we didn't, I feel like if we didn't experience these not almost not okay and not okay, we would take the okay for granted, and I think it's, well, essential.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, that's Deena, what's this like to hear Gabby's way of taking in what we put in the book and seeing how a young person, Gabby, how old are you now and how old were you when you first read the book?
Well, I first read the book when I was 10 years old, and now I'm 11.
There you go. So Deena, what's it like to hear Gabby describe her experience of learning she can actually develop an okay monitor?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to watch and to watch you just practice this. I feel so proud of you. I wish everyone could have this because it really is such a crucial skill to be able to monitor when you're going beyond what you can tolerate well. And then to learn that it's okay to not be okay, how to do it with compassion and be able to take care of yourself and regulate back is just amazing.
Yeah, I share that, Deena, so much. Let's just do one more, and then I know we're near our time. But you can see, just Gabby, from what you've beautifully got inspired by the book to put in this slideshow, that you can reflect on, when things seem, like you're in the not okay place. You can make a list of things that kind of get you there. You
We're
can
here
do this
doing
exercises like the ice challenge, and other fun stuff that we put in the book. And, this whole idea of seeing that you have a range of emotions that fill you allows you to go in depth. You can kind of get a feeling for what, Gabby, you did here by looking at the different emotions that come up in different settings. And the overall idea is that you get to
hello.
know your
I'm
body, you get to know
here
your
doing an
emotions, you get to know your
exercise.
thoughts. And
Sound
I wish we
making.
could spend those 8 hours going through all of this. But I'll
Yes.
just say this, Gabby, that what you have put together here is so inspiring for us as adults, realizing that actually young people have incredible potential for learning about how their inner world works, and then not only sensing that world, but being able to then shape it in a positive direction. So we do this by looking at our energy flows. For example, here in chapter 8, it was about your body and really understanding how the body works and where to be in touch with those feelings. But we'll go to one more section that I want to ask you about, which is coming up right here, where you can deal with your thoughts and actually learn that you don't have to be a prisoner to whatever your thoughts are doing. Gabby, what was that like for you to actually learn about that? And here in this chapter 10 is what we'll stop with, that you can realize, okay, I can be responsible for what's going on inside my body, but then I'm also part of a relational world. And what was that like for you, Gabby?
For me, it makes things a lot harder. It means that I can't like do. I have to think about the others before I do things that might affect them, and it's so much easier when we do things not thinking about others. But being part of relationships is, it sure makes things harder. Yeah.
It's more complex to
Yeah.
think before you act when you have to think of someone else's feelings, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, Tatiana, maybe you can tell us, and is it okay if I stop sharing the slides now? Is that okay, Gabby?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So, but you can see what an amazing job you did on those slides. So, Tatiana, maybe you can share this wonderful opportunity, what it was like to have the experience of Gabby reading NowMaps, and how this whole experience of learning about the inner life that's happening now. That's the idea of NowMaps, is you map out what's happening in the present moment, right? So you would call it mindfulness, but it's more than that, because you're really actively not only being aware of what's going on, being mindful, but you're learning to modify what's going on. So you're taking this map, and we have a compass that allows you to go through all these experiences. But Tatiana, what was it like to have a daughter, a 10-year-old, reading this book about their own mind, reading it herself? And what was that like for you as her mom?
Yeah, it was really nice to see how she could develop her own thoughts and ideas by grasping the conceptual part of the book, and also going through the exercises, and then asking her friends to do some of the exercises as well, and understand deeper her hypothesis of what would he think, how would this friend feel doing this, and that how would be the reaction of this other friend. So now she can understand deeper her friends and understand better how to work in those relationships. And for me as a mom, as I read the presentation and join her in some of the exercises, I could really understand, have a peek on her inner world. What I think we all dream of that, and I can see her inner narrative change throughout the book. She became so much knowledgeable about her powers of understanding this storm that sometimes happen inside of us, and now, okay, it will pass, and I have alternatives to deal with it. So it's a growth experience for all of us involved.
It's
Beautiful.
incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Deena, I don't know if you want to ask Tatiana or Gabby any questions that come to you. I know this is a big moment to have you hear this. I know the first time I heard these reflections, I was like bubbling over, and I had to text you from Brazil.
Yeah, you did.
'Cause it was so exciting.
I
And
know.
Tatiana, Gabby, thank you so much. But Deena, maybe you have some reflections or thoughts about it too.
Yeah, I guess, there's so much in the book, and Gabby, just everything that you've shared with us is incredible. And I can see that you've put so much practice and thought into all of it. It's amazing. But what do you feel? I guess this is a big question. What do you feel like the world could be like if all tweens ended up reading this book and doing these exercises? What do you think the impact would look like?
I think the impact would be extremely big, in a good way, and it would make things. It would. How can I say this? It would benefit not only yourself but others, making the environment more. How do I?
More collaborative.
Yes,
harmonic.
more collaborative, and we could achieve so much more.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's so beautiful. I feel like we could go on and on with this, and I know because of time and these ways we're doing it, we're going to come to a close soon. But let me ask the three of you if there are any, uh, final kind of reflections that you have. And I just want to remind everyone that, Gabby, you've gone deeply into this as a 10-year-old, now 11-year-old, and Portuguese is your primary language. So you've actually taken a book that's in English and translated this inner see so that you could now see inside and learn to regulate it using English words. And now you're telling us about it in English. So that's really fantastic.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Double layer translations. But let me see if there's anything, Gabby or Tatiana or Dina, any kind of reflections at all you have before we bring our time to a close.
If I could just say, I wish every school would work with this book so that students would have a much better time dealing with these situations, and educators would have better tools to mediate situations and to evoke this kind of inner knowledge. We can see that young kids really are completely capable of absorbing this and creating new strategies.
Completely agree with you. That's how I've left this talk, and it's just been so nice meeting you both. I heard so much about you. This is an awesome time together. I really could spend all day here with you.
Me too.
Yeah.
We will set up some kind of setting where we can do that, and whether it's privately or doing some other public thing, because well, let me see, Gabby, if you have any final thoughts too. And I've spent so much time with you. I know we could talk for hours and hours, but go ahead. Any thoughts you want to share here in this setting, and then I'll say a couple of things to close.
Well, I think this experience has really changed my life. It's going to benefit me a lot, and I'd like to thank you, Dr. Dan and Deena Margolin, for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Gabby. This is such an exciting thing, for the four of us to be together here sharing with people what this was like. I feel I just need to say a couple of science things, since, the field of science can bring us new insights into how to actually reach out to young people like you, Gabby, and say, look, through ideas and exercises like we put in NowMaps, there is a scientific basis for literally how to stimulate the areas of the brain that can allow you to be aware of what's going on in a deeper way, so you see with more clarity and depth, kind of like if you had a camera and you could now focus and put it in focus. So then when you see something, then what we try to do from a scientific point of view is teach you how to regulate, how to monitor what's happening, yes, but then modify it, like the pause button, for example, and the way of reframing things, so that what we call that in fancy terms is how to change the brain, and that's called neuroplasticity. So NowMaps builds on the current science we have about how experience changes the brain. And then what Deena and I did, and it was so fun to do this together, Deena, and Gabby, maybe one day you'll want to get involved in education or helping people, whatever, like this has helped you. It's so meaningful for us to hear from you, because we wrote this book for young people like you, to say, hey, here are some ideas, here are some practices, here's some fun ways of looking at this. And guess what? It also grows your brain in a healthy way, kind of like learning to exercise a muscle and get stronger, and learning to exercise your brain in ways that are new, so that you can learn, for example, to ride a bicycle, you can learn to swim, or you can learn to go hiking. You have the possibility to actually learn about your own inner experience in the present moment, called now. And when you make a map of it, you can learn to guide your journey of life. So I want to thank you, Gabby, for being here. Tatiana, thank you for your incredible support. Thank you, Deena. Thank you. And for everyone listening to us, this is just such a joy because the world needs this kind of awakening of all of us, and especially the new generation, to have these inner resilience skills so they can approach a challenging world with vigor, with compassion, with love, with connection. And Gabby, you've really been an incredible teacher for us all. And
Thank you.
thank you for being so inspiring for us. And we'll look forward to more conversations in the future.
Yes.
More
Oh,
soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Deena. It was a pleasure meeting you. We wanted to do that for a few months now. Dr. Dan, thank you so much again. It's an incredible opportunity, and I hope everyone listening to this can have a feeling how important it is.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Deena. Thank you, Tatiana. And thank you, Gabby.
Yeah.
Be well, everyone. And until the next NowMaps, be with you, and we'll talk.